Joha and His Son and the Donkey is the title of today's podcast. Let's get started. One day, Joha and his son decided to go to the market. They wanted to sell some goods and needed the donkey to carry their things. Joha and his son walked beside the donkey at first. On the way, they met some villagers who laughed at them. "Why aren't you riding the donkey?" they said. Joha thought about it and decided to sit on the donkey while his son continued to walk beside them. The villagers' words made him rethink his choice. After Joha rode the donkey for a while, they passed another group of people. This group looked at Joha and said, "How selfish you are, Joha. You're sitting comfortably while your young son walks in the heat." Joha felt embarrassed and got off the donkey. He told his son to ride it instead. Joha thought this solution would make everyone happy, but the reactions they faced taught them otherwise. As Joha walked beside the donkey and his son, they came across another group of people. "Look at that," the people said. "The young boy is riding while the older man is walking. How disrespectful." This made Joha and his son feel confused. It seemed that no matter what they did, people always found something to criticize. Joha scratched his head and started thinking of a new idea to avoid further judgment. To please everyone, Joha suggested they both ride the donkey. His son agreed, and they climbed on the donkey together. Soon, they met another group of people. These people looked shocked. "Poor donkey," they cried. "It's carrying too much weight. How cruel you both are to this poor animal." Joha and his son were embarrassed once again. They realized their plan wasn't working at all and had to think of a different approach. After hearing the complaints, Joha and his son decided to carry the donkey themselves. They tied its legs with a rope and lifted it onto their shoulders. As they walked toward the market, people stared at them in disbelief. Some laughed, while others pointed at them. "What a strange sight," the crowd said. Joha and his son felt foolish, but they were determined to stop the criticism they had been facing all day. When Joha and his son finally reached a bridge, the donkey started panicking. It struggled and kicked, trying to free itself from the ropes. The noise and movement startled Joha and his son. Suddenly, the donkey slipped from their hands and fell into the river. Joha and his son were shocked and upset. They watched helplessly as their donkey floated away, realizing they had lost their only means of transport. Joha sat by the river with his son, feeling both tired and sad. "We tried so hard to please everyone," he said, "but in the end, we lost what mattered most." His son nodded and replied, "Father, it seems that no matter what we do, people will always have something to say." Joha sighed deeply, understanding that his son was right. They decided to walk home, learning a valuable lesson from the day. This story of Joha and his son teaches us the importance of trusting our own decisions. Trying to please everyone can lead to unnecessary stress and confusion. Joha wanted to satisfy the people around him, but their constant criticism made him lose focus. This reminds us to stay true to ourselves and not let others' opinions control our actions. Another lesson from the story is about balance. While it's good to consider others' feelings, we shouldn't compromise our well-being or goals to meet their expectations. Joha's attempt to make everyone happy led to the loss of his donkey. This highlights the need to make wise choices that align with our priorities rather than worrying about judgment. Joha's story also teaches us about the importance of resilience. Even though he faced constant criticism, he kept trying to find a solution. This shows that challenges and mistakes are part of life. Instead of giving up, Joha and his son learned from their experience. This is a valuable reminder to keep moving forward, no matter how tough the situation may seem. It's also important to understand the concept of kindness. Throughout the story, Joha and his son tried to be considerate of both people and the donkey. However, their efforts were misunderstood. This teaches us that true kindness involves not only considering others but also staying true to our principles. It's about doing what's right, even if others don't always approve. One of the funniest parts of the story is when Joe and his son carried the donkey. This unusual scene reminds us that sometimes, trying too hard to satisfy others can make us look foolish. The humor in this moment teaches us to not take criticism too seriously. It's okay to laugh at ourselves and move on when things don't go as planned. Joe's story highlights the idea that perfection is impossible. No matter how hard we try, we can't please everyone all the time. People have different opinions, and trying to meet all their expectations can lead to failure. This teaches us to focus on doing our best without worrying about others' judgments. Another lesson from Joe's experience is about teamwork. Joe and his son worked together throughout their journey. Even though their efforts didn't succeed as planned, their collaboration shows the value of supporting one another in difficult situations. This reminds us that having someone by our side can make challenges more manageable. The donkey in the story symbolizes resources or opportunities that we often take for granted. Joe and his son were so focused on others' opinions that they lost their donkey. This reminds us to appreciate what we have and protect it from unnecessary risks. It's a lesson about valuing our assets and making wise decisions to preserve them. Joe's calm response to criticism is another important takeaway. Instead of reacting angrily, he tried to adapt and find solutions. This shows the value of patience and composure in handling challenges. It teaches us to approach problems with a clear mind and a positive attitude even when faced with negativity. Humor plays a big role in Joe's story. Despite the challenges, the humorous moments make the story enjoyable and memorable. This shows that even in tough times, finding humor can lighten the mood and bring a fresh perspective. It's a reminder to not take life too seriously and to enjoy the journey, even with its ups and downs. The story also highlights the importance of communication. If Joe and his son had explained their decisions to the people they met, they might have avoided some criticism. This teaches us that clear communication can help others understand our actions and reduce misunderstandings. It's a valuable skill in both personal and professional relationships. Lastly, Joe's story emphasizes the idea of self-confidence. By the end of the tale, Joe learns that he can't let others' opinions dictate his actions. This teaches us to believe in ourselves and trust our choices. Confidence is key to navigating life's challenges and staying true to our values, no matter what others might say.